A few years ago, during a business trip to Beijing, I had the opportunity to visit a mechanics shop in one of those industrial districts where the air smells of oil and metal. The owner, a man in his 60s with hands that looked like road maps, told me something that completely changed my understanding of car maintenance. In China, we don't wait for it to break down, he explained, pointing to a perfectly clean engine that already had over 400,000 kilometers on it. We prevent it before it even thinks about breaking down. That sentence sums up an entire philosophy that we in the West are only just beginning to understand. While in Europe or America, most people take their cars to the shop when something is already broken. In China, maintenance is proactive, almost obsessive. And that difference is especially noticeable in how they treat fuel injectors. Today, you're going to discover 18 methods proven in millions of Chinese vehicles, from taxis that travel 300 kilometers a day to family cars that cross the entire country. Accessible, economical, and surprisingly effective methods that don't require disassembling a single thing. Some you can apply yourself in your garage, others you'll need a workshop, but they all have one thing in common: they work. And the last ones on this list are secrets that professional Chinese workshops jealously guard, because they represent the difference between an engine that lasts 100,000 kilometers and one that reaches 500,000 without breaking a sweat. Deep cleaning additives with polyethylamine. If there's one product that Chinese mechanics recommend without hesitation, it's a good cleaning additive with PEA as the active ingredient. Polyethylamine is a complex molecule developed specifically to dissolve carbon deposits without damaging metal, rubber, or sensors. It's not empty marketing or a modern invention. It's pure chemistry. When PEA comes into contact with the sediment that forms inside the injectors, it softens it, loosens it, and turns it into microscopic particles that burn along with the gasoline without leaving a trace. But here's the catch. Not all additives are created equal. If you see a bottle that promises total cleaning for $5, the reality is that it will probably only clean your wallet. Most cheap products don't contain PEA in useful quantities. They only have light solvents that do little more than perfume the gasoline. In China, you can find reliable international brands like 3M, Würth, or Liqui-Moly, and also some premium lines from Sinopec and PetroChina that actually work. The correct procedure is critical. First, add the additive when the tank is between a quarter and half full. This increases the concentration of the product, ensuring it passes through the injectors in effective doses. Second, after adding the additive, drive for at least 30 minutes on a highway or in free-flowing traffic. Controlled high-temperature drive cleaning. This is a traditional Chinese technique that has been used for decades, long before sophisticated chemical additives existed. The concept is elegant in its simplicity, using the engine's natural heat to burn off the residue that accumulates in the injectors, valves, and combustion chamber. In workshops in Shanghai and Guangzhou, veteran mechanics explain the procedure with almost military precision. Get out on the highway or a clear road. Keep the engine running at a steady 3,000 to 3,500 revolutions per minute for 20 to 30 minutes. This isn't about full throttle or racing. It's simply about maintaining a stable engine speed that raises the internal temperature of the engine above what it would reach during normal city driving. At these temperatures, carbon deposits that are usually only partially burned off in urban environments are completely incinerated. The benefit isn't limited to the injectors. It also cleans the intake valves, the combustion chamber, and even the lower sections of the exhaust system. Taxi drivers in Beijing, who rack up 300 kilometers a day in heavy traffic, religiously apply this method once a month. Many combine it with a cleaning additive to amplify the effect. They add the chemical to the tank and then make the high-temperature journey. Precautions are important. The engine must be in good mechanical condition. Throttle body cleaning without disassembly. Here's a connection many people overlook. A dirty throttle body directly affects the performance of the injectors. If the engine can't breathe properly because the throttle plate is covered in grime, the air-fuel mixture becomes unbalanced. The injectors try to compensate but end up working under suboptimal conditions, which accelerates their clogging. The Chinese procedure for cleaning it at home is surprisingly simple. First, warm up the engine to normal operating temperature. Let it run for about 5 minutes without revving it. Then turn it off and let it stabilize. Open the hood and remove the air duct that connects the air filter to the throttle body. You'll see the butterfly valve, a circular metal plate that controls how much air enters. Use a spray cleaner specifically designed for electronic components. This is critical. Never use generic carburetor cleaner on an electronic throttle body. Harsh solvents can damage the internal coating and dry out the rubber seals. Spray generously on the butterfly valve and internal walls. Carefully open the throttle valve manually without forcing it. Use a soft microfiber cloth to clean it. The black deposits that come off look like wet charcoal. That's exactly what they are. Let it dry for a few minutes before reconnecting everything. When you start the engine, it's normal for it to sound strange for a few seconds, or for the RPMs to rise slightly. Long-acting detergent additives. These products work completely differently from PEA's aggressive cleaners. They are not designed to clean severe deposits in one go. Their function is to keep the injectors clean constantly, acting as a daily routine rather than an emergency intervention. The Chinese philosophy behind this is clear. Constant prevention is better than drastic intervention. These mild detergents work on 3 levels, as explained by mechanics in Shenzhen, one of China's most advanced automotive centers. First, they soften the varnishes that form on the inner walls of the injectors. These varnishes come from old gasoline, sudden temperature changes, and partially burned residue. Second, they gradually dissolve the gummy deposits formed by ethanol and the natural oxidation of the fuel. They don't violently remove them. They loosen them progressively so they don't clog the injector or saturate the filter. Third, they keep the internal fuel rail passages clean, an area that rarely receives attention but is critical for the system's operation. It's important to understand that this cleaning is gentler but more consistent. It works throughout the entire tank, even during hard acceleration or city driving. It doesn't damage sensors, affect rubber seals, or alter combustion quality. The recommended use is every 3 tanks of gas, especially after using an aggressive cleaner like PEA to maintain the results. Exclusive use of premium gasoline brands. The reality in China is stark. Fuel quality varies enormously depending on where you fill up. Gas stations of well-known international brands like Shell or top-tier local brands like Sinopec Premium and PetroChina Premium have gasoline with complete detergent additive packages from the source. Each tank you fill acts as a preventative micro-cleaning of the entire fuel injection system. They prevent deposit buildup instead of having to clean them later. The price difference is usually minimal, just a few cents per liter, but the long-term maintenance savings are enormous. Chinese drivers who accumulate high annual mileage are strictly disciplined about this. They never, under any circumstances, fill up at dubious stations, even if the price is temptingly lower. And there's data to back it up. Documented experience on Chinese automotive forums shows that injectors fueled exclusively with premium gasoline last twice as long as those exposed to fuel of varying quality. The spray pattern remains perfect for longer, fuel consumption is more stable, and error codes on the computer are virtually non-existent. In third-tier cities and rural areas, where options are limited, verifying gasoline quality is even more critical. Workshops in these areas consistently report more injector problems, and the direct correlation with low-quality gasoline is undeniable. There's a simple test that experienced Chinese drivers use. If the price of gasoline is suspiciously low compared to the regional average, the quality will be too. There are no miracles. Cheap fuel is cheap for a reason, and your fuel injection system will eventually pay the price. Professional cleaning without removal using a specialized machine. Taking the level of complexity to the next level, we find professional cleaning machines that are standard in premium workshops in cities like Beijing and Shanghai. Unlike the basic pressurized kit, these machines are computerized and control not only the inlet pressure, but also the temperature and the precise flow of the solvent. They use high-powered industrial solvents designed to remove hardened varnishes that common additives can't even soften. The procedure typically lasts between 25 and 40 minutes, during which time the machine maintains pressure at the optimal atomization point for the injectors, allowing the cleaner to enter with the correct shape and speed to dislodge the dirt. It's common to observe that during the process, the exhaust smoke becomes darker, which is physical evidence that carbon deposits are being expelled from the system. The characteristic chemical odor is normal and expected by mechanics. After completion, the symptoms of dirty injectors almost completely disappear. Cold starts become instantaneous, and acceleration regains its original linearity. Professional-grade carbon machine treatment. This is an elite technique that goes a step beyond simple injector cleaning, as it focuses on the entire combustion system. In high-end Chinese workshops, a machine is used that introduces a special cleaning agent through the intake manifold while the engine is running. As the agent moves through, it cleans not only the injector nozzles but also the intake valves, combustion chamber, oxygen sensors, and throttle body. The flow is electronically regulated so that the agent mixes evenly with the air, penetrating between accumulated carbon deposits and loosening them without damaging sensitive engine parts. This treatment can restore up to 90% of the performance lost due to dirt buildup. It is the ideal solution for engines that vibrate excessively or have lost their characteristic solidity. It requires constant monitoring, as too high a flow rate could flood the engine, while too low a flow rate would be ineffective. Unlike a tank additive that only cleans the inside of the injector, the carbon machine is a complete body cleaning treatment. Ultrasonic injector. Cleaning without complete disassembly. In Shenzhen's technology workshops, an innovative method has been developed that combines the best of both worlds. This hybrid technique eliminates the need to disassemble each injector individually, reducing the risk of damaging delicate seals or O-rings. Instead, the entire fuel rail, with the injectors still installed, is removed. The whole assembly is then submerged in an ultrasonic tank containing a special cleaning chemical. The ultrasonic waves create a phenomenon called cavitation, which generates millions of microscopic bubbles that implode against the surfaces, dislodging even the most stubborn deposits without the need for scrubbing or mechanical tools. The process typically lasts between 30 and 45 minutes and is extremely effective at cleaning external deposits on the injector tip, which are the primary factors affecting the spray pattern. Thermal flushing with special Chinese oil. There is a lesser-known technique outside of China's northern provinces that utilizes the thermal properties of ultralight mineral oil. Some veteran mechanics use a pure mineral oil saturated with detergent additives, which is added to the gas tank in a very specific ratio of 50 milliliters per 10 liters of fuel. Once mixed, the engine is run at normal operating temperature for about 30 minutes. This special oil partially vaporizes as it passes through the hot injectors, acting as both a lubricant and a cleaner. This thermal action helps to loosen resinous varnishes that are particularly resistant to traditional solvents. Although this method is debated among younger engineers, many old-school mechanics swear it's the most effective way to smooth out injector operation without spending a fortune. It's critical, however, not to use just any motor oil. It must be pure mineral oil without viscosity additives, as synthetic oils are unsuitable for this purpose and could leave residues. Treatment with diluted industrial white vinegar. In rural areas of China, where access to specialized automotive chemicals is limited, a surprisingly effective home remedy has emerged using industrial white vinegar. It's important to clarify that this isn't ordinary cooking vinegar, but rather an industrial variety with a controlled acidity of at least 10%. The acetic acid in this product can dissolve mineral deposits and certain organic varnishes that form when using low-quality gasoline. Local mechanics typically mix about 100 milliliters of this vinegar into a full tank of fuel and ask the owner to drive the vehicle normally until the tank is empty. The main advantage is its virtually non-existent cost and its availability at any hardware store. While not as powerful as a professional cleaner for removing stubborn carbon deposits, it's an excellent emergency solution for light to moderate cleaning. The crucial precaution is to never exceed the recommended dosage and to ensure that high-quality gasoline is used in the next tank to rinse away any residual acidity that may remain in the system. It's a perfect example of how folk ingenuity can find functional solutions using everyday resources. Controlled steam cleaning. This traditional technique has been successfully adapted to modern engines with electronic fuel injection. It consists of introducing an extremely fine mist of water into the engine's intake, while it's at full operating temperature. Upon contact with the intense heat of the cylinders and injector nozzles, the water instantly turns into steam, creating a thermal expansion that helps loosen carbon deposits. Chinese mechanics often use a garden spray bottle adjusted to create the finest possible mist, applying it while the engine is running at a steady 2,000 revolutions per minute. During the 2 or 3 minutes of application, it's normal to see thick white smoke coming from the exhaust, which is simply steam laden with cleaning residue. This method requires extreme precision, as introducing too much water could cause hydraulic shock or hydrolock, permanently damaging the engine. However, when done correctly, the benefit is twofold. Slow-burn fuel system cleaning additives. In China, where traffic is heavy and engines spend a lot of time idling, slow-burn fuel system cleaning additives are very popular. Unlike shock cleaners that try to do everything in one tank, these products are designed to work gradually over thousands of miles. They are the preferred choice for maintaining large taxi fleets in cities like Guangzhou. They are added to the tank every 3 to 5 fill-ups on a regular basis, keeping the injectors in optimal condition consistently. Their chemistry is different from that of aggressive cleaners. They have a lower concentration, but a sustained penetration capacity that prevents the formation of new deposits before they harden. This strategy does not stress oxygen sensors or engine gaskets with volatile chemicals. For high-mileage drivers, it is the smartest way to prevent injectors from reaching a critical state that requires drastic intervention. The cost is spread over time, making it seem more expensive. But the reality is that it keeps fuel consumption stable and the engine running smoothly month after month, preserving the vehicle's original efficiency for hundreds of thousands of kilometers. Fuel filter inspection and cleaning. There is a direct and often overlooked connection between a dirty fuel filter and contaminated injectors. A filter that has exceeded its lifespan not only loses its holding capacity, but also allows microscopic particles of rust and sediment to pass through, lodging directly in the internal microfilters of the injectors. In China, due to the variable quality of gasoline in certain regions, changing the fuel filter is a critical task that mechanics recommend performing every 20,000 kilometers. If the filter is saturated, the system pressure becomes irregular, directly affecting the injector's spray pattern and accelerating the formation of deposits. Many Chinese workshops always check and replace the filter before proceeding with any injector cleaning, based on the logic that cleaning the injector is pointless if the new gasoline is going to be contaminated. It's one of the most economical and effective investments an owner can make, costing between 15 and 40 euros, and ensuring that all subsequent cleaning efforts are long-lasting and not just a temporary fix for a few days. Fuel rail pressure calibration. Often, what appears to be a problem with dirty injectors is actually a problem with incorrect pressure in the system. If the pressure is too low, the injector cannot atomize the gasoline correctly, creating droplets instead of a fine mist, resulting in incomplete combustion and rapid deposits. Conversely, too much pressure can strain the system and damage the seals. Specialized Chinese workshops use high-precision pressure gauges to verify that the fuel rail is operating exactly within the range designed by the manufacturer, which is generally between 3 and 5 bar. Often, the fault lies in the pressure sensor or the regulator, which, by sending erroneous readings to the car's computer, causes inefficient injection. Correcting and calibrating rail pressure immediately improves injector performance, allowing them to work in their optimal efficiency zone. Urban Preventive Driving Program. The Chinese philosophy of engine care holds that driving style is the most decisive factor in fuel injector cleanliness. The sudden accelerations and constant braking, so common in traffic jams, force the engine to operate outside its ideal operating temperature range, generating a large amount of unburned fuel. The preventive driving method consists of smooth, anticipatory accelerations that allow for much more complete fuel combustion. Conscientious drivers in China avoid prolonged idling. If the wait will exceed 2 minutes, they prefer to turn off the engine to prevent cold combustion from generating deposits on the injector tips. Furthermore, they follow the rule of combining urban driving with short highway trips at least once a week. Driving at a constant engine speed and high temperature helps to naturally burn off the residue that has accumulated during the week of slow traffic. Scheduled preventive maintenance with absolute discipline. Finally, we arrive at the real secret of why so many vehicles in China exceed 500,000 kilometers with their original injectors. Absolute discipline in maintenance. It's not a magic trick, but rather following a strict schedule almost religiously. The routine followed by the most successful owners includes a high-quality cleaning additive every 10,000 kilometers, changing the fuel filter every 20,000, cleaning the throttle body at 30,000, and a professional pressurized treatment every 50,000 kilometers. Between these interventions, they only use gasoline from trusted brands and avoid at all costs letting the tank reach the reserve level to prevent sucking up sediment from the bottom. This philosophy ensures that the engine never gets dirty enough to require invasive or costly intervention. The injectors are always maintained at 95% of their theoretical efficiency. It's not a matter of luck or superior vehicle quality. It's the owner's consistency that makes the difference. At the end of the day, the cost of this preventative maintenance, spread over the years, is infinitely less than the price of a major repair or injector replacement, demonstrating that in the automotive world, prevention is the only tool that guarantees longevity. As we've seen throughout these 18 methods, cleaning and maintaining gasoline injectors doesn't have to be a mechanical nightmare that forces us to dismantle half the engine. From the simplest chemical solutions to heat treatments and high-tech machines, the goal is always the same: to ensure that combustion is as clean and efficient as possible. Chinese wisdom teaches us that preventative care and discipline are the best allies for our wallets and the lifespan of our vehicles.